Hey, what's up, TDL fans? This is Cole. Weekly update time. Missed last week. I apologize for that. There wasn't really a whole lot going on. I was just working a lot. So here we are. Number one, I hope you guys are all going to start following TDL Gaming. Jay is over there. He's going to be streaming more and doing more and more good stuff. It's also going to be kind of a page where we test out some merch ideas moving forward. Show you some stuff and see if you like it. If enough people like stuff, then we'll try and sell what we can. We've had bad experiences in the past trying to sell merch. With only about 28,000 people, it seems like we should be able to sell a little bit of stuff, but historically we've sold like one item when we listed stuff. I don't know if Facebook just hides the feed or what, but historically we haven't sold much, so it's kind of a financially risky thing to do every time. Frankly, I'm not that interested in merch. I would rather focus on creating products that you could use, podcasts maybe where you learn something or at least get a good laugh out of it. Obviously continue to make memes and do all the normal stuff that we do. So I do hope you will follow the gaming page. I think it's going to be an important part of where we're headed for the future. Same quality of content, same oversight. It should be good. Next, Patreon. We have one. I don't like begging for money, but money's awesome. With money, we could take more risks on providing merch. We could have better equipment for podcasts. I spend a lot of my own money doing stuff on the page because I like it, and that's not ever going to change. I enjoy it. I'm going to continue to contribute as best I can. But it'd be nice to see some returns on that eventually, you know. Anyway, so let's talk about the news a little bit. What's been going on in the news? This week we had the Dallas shooter, who fired a lot of rounds at the entrance of the federal courthouse in Dallas and was dropped by one extremely well-placed / possibly lucky shot from a security guard there. 40 cal round entered through the armhole of his flak vest and exited basically like an A-zone hit. You watch the video and it appears that he was up for several seconds after he was hit, and it looks to me like it was probably a double lung and a pulmonary sac or heart shot. I mean, he was hit. It was a good hit. You can see the blood on the ground. It's that bright red arterial straight out from the pump shop blood in the pictures. So first of all, I'm amazed that a security guard made a shot like that with a pistol. Secondly, I think it goes to show that when you attack a hardened target, you do not have as many casualties. I mean, it's really fucking clear, right? I don't understand why we don't have guards at our schools who are capable of applying deadly force with the same readiness and aptitude that armed guards have at banks, courthouses. You know, seems to me like my kids are a lot more valuable to me than my money, but is what it is. Probably the biggest and most interesting piece of news for a lot of people is this double stack high point is coming out. Been a lot of interest in it, a lot of it's not really controversy, it's just people on the internet having a good time joking around about it. You may have seen my video about it. I'm glad that they are gonna have kind of a runoff here on the 25th. So if you do want to see it named YEET Cannon, then you need to go vote. That said, I've learned a little bit more about the features of the new High Point, and it sounds like it's actually going to be a pretty good deal. So you get a threaded barrel, you get optics mounting capability, and obviously it's double stacked, so the aftermarket will provide mags at whatever capacity your state laws will allow. But that means you could get a good used optic, slap it on there, put a comp on there, and for about 400 bucks or less, you're gonna have a great range toy. If the current High Point aftermarket is any indicator, then there will be trigger upgrades and all kinds of stuff that's very affordable. Most people's gripes with High Point's current offerings are the trigger and the weight, and it's just ugly. Well, I'm not saying this thing's not going to be ugly, but it does look like it's going to be a little lighter and smaller. And if it still has the old 12-pound trigger, then you know it is what it is. We can all shoot our SIGs in double action mode. It's not a big deal for a $200 gun. As long as it's consistent, you can learn to shoot it. But if the aftermarket steps up the way it has for pretty much every modern firearm, then you'll be able to basically make the trigger whatever you want it to be. So probably for not a lot of money. So it is an interesting piece of equipment that's coming out. I wish it took Glock mags, and not having had hands on one yet, you know, probably the first thing I'll do when I get one is try and stick a Magpul Glock mag in there, just to see. You know, it sounds interesting. Also, tomorrow I'm trying to be on a podcast. Not going to divulge too much, but it sounds like one of the other guests might be a rep from High Point, and I think the guy who runs Tactical Memes will be the other guest. So that should be a pretty interesting panel. Obviously, when that goes live or when it's finalized, I'll put links up for you guys to watch. Have some interesting questions for High Point, such as why has it taken this long to put out a double stack gun? And if you can make double stack mags for a pistol, why can't you make one for a carbine? Better yet, why can't you take a card out of Kel-Tec's deck and make a carbine that takes Glock mags? I don't know. I like Glock mags. I have a lot of them. All right. It's been almost 8 minutes. Peace. Drink good beer. Some people hate this shit, but I don't. And I hope you have a great week.